Let me tell you something about faith. Faith doesn't ignore feelings. It just refuses to be controlled by them. Feelings fluctuate, but faith remains firm. Feelings are temporary. Truth is eternal. You might not feel forgiven, but the word says you are. You might not feel strong, but scripture says be strong in the Lord. You might not feel loved, but Romans 8:38 says nothing can separate you from the love of God. Your faith must be stronger and louder than your emotions. That's why we speak the word over ourselves. When fear says, you can't, faith replies, I can do all things through Christ. When doubt says, this will never work, faith says, with God, all things are possible. The enemy loves to manipulate emotions. He'll use what you feel to make you forget what you know.
What?
But every time you choose faith over feeling, you take back ground the enemy tried to steal. It's not that feelings are bad. God gave them to us. They just make terrible masters. Your emotions are indicators, not dictators. They tell you how to feel, but they don't tell you what's true. Even Jesus had a moment where his feelings clashed with his mission. In Gethsemane, he said, Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. His flesh didn't want the cross, like many things in life that we don't want. But his faith said, nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. That's what it means to walk by faith, to obey even when your heart trembles. When you walk by faith, you begin to mature spiritually. You stop needing external proof to believe in an internal promise. You stop relying on emotions to validate what God has already spoken. Faith says, I don't have to see it to believe it. Feeling says, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. And that's the difference between a believer who endures and one who drifts. Sometimes God will allow your emotions to dry up so your dependence shifts from feeling his presence to trusting his promise. That's when your faith deepens, because faith doesn't grow in the easy days. It grows in the days where you have to remind yourself, God is still good, even when I don't feel good. So you might have to ask yourself, have I been letting my feelings lead my faith? You need to take one promise from scripture that contradicts your current emotions and declare it over your life until it becomes louder than what you feel. Because walking by faith means trusting that God's truth is stronger than your temporary feelings. Hey, before I go, be sure to look down in the description for the link of where you can find many of the books that I've written and created just for you. Appreciate you.